In last century, baby girls are not that welcome in the family. The young generation feel more pressure. Feminism belongs to all women.
If women supposed to go work and men go work, who gonna take care of them kids? Now the system have full access of the kid. Welcome to the show, Ash. Today is the best opportunity for me just to have you in the show. A few weeks ago, we was talking about an important conversation, and today we have the opportunity just to be together, just talk about something different. In today's society, many people misunderstood both gender, which is men and women, and people misunderstood a lot of things. First and foremost, to start this conversation, it's not a battlefield between you and me. It's just a normal conversation where we both gonna try to understand how women think, how they work, how the collaboration between women and men, how it can be possible and easier. So first and foremost, I would like you say hello to everybody and tell who you are. Welcome to the show, Ash.
Thank you for your invitation. I am from China, south of China. I'm a Chinese teacher. And I'm also very interested in this topic. I'm very impressive about your work.
We are exploring how women think, how women experience power, and what women truly need from men in the modern world. So what is your point of view about what women truly need from men? So do you just see it like everybody just move on their side and saying that I'm independent, I can do what I want? Or you see that we are both gender that need each other?
Well, I think this is still in the process. And we, in Asia, we still didn't really figuring out. It's not that mature yet. So in my view, it's more important for men is what not to do. For example, like stop making assumptions about women, stop viewing us as a human, like hard to understand. For example, when a female friend complain about sexual harassed or arrested in general, and the very least, don't assume she's showing off or that she enjoying to be harassed. From women's perspective, the male gaze is not really a measure of our attractiveness.
Okay.
Or when you crush on a woman, if she avoids your message or stop replying you, it's not really a shy. It's because simply she doesn't want to put some people in an embarrassing situation, because that these kind of problem I've been experienced a lot. So yeah, when you meet a woman, you do wonder about her sexual orientation or whether she has a partner. But I don't think this is a very good beginning to knowing a woman or knowing even a human being. We believe that we need for men do is to knowing us as a human being, not as like a man or woman, just seeing ourselves as a human being. Like, I want to know this kind of person, who you are, like what do you believe, what do you doubt, what do you longing for, what do you cherish. I want to know about the night that keeps you awake, the moment that fills you with pride, and the moment that makes you feel ashamed. I want to know all of your lights, the corners, where you keep your shadows, as long as you willing to share. I think this is just woman really cares about. It's something men needs that as well. It's universal human needs to be seen.
I really love the way you're dressing. In modern society, everything kind of changed. So people think different. Even when you like observing people, actually everybody move too fast and they don't observe. And the simple fact of not observing sometimes make us do a couple of stuff that we supposed not to do or we don't like overthink the situation. What I try to say. So I see men today, they want to know a chicks or a lady just for sex. So they don't try like to investigate, as you're saying, just to say, okay, let me try to discover what she have special, what I can bring to her. Because when you meet someone, it's like in a simple basic word, it's like amplification. Because when you come to someone, your role is like to destroy that person or help that person be a better version of herself or himself. And I think so. It's a little bit crazy the idea of meet people for the simple fact of having sexual transaction. So I think, from my point of view, that women we need women. So I think so. Men and women is a better connection when it's come to work, when it's come to emotional, when it's come to different kind of stuff. But what I can't like talking about directly, I don't know in Asia how women thinking. I'm live in Latin America, so I can tell you how I can see them moving, you know. So probably your experience or your point of view of women can be global, or maybe it can be like simply about women in Asia. But I think so. I will enjoy like to learn a little bit about women in Asia and your perception about women in the global world.
I totally agree with you about the strange thing that happening among those men who approach the woman with some proposal. But what I said, I believe that is pretty um, private. I cannot say this is all Asia women, and even for Asian women, we're not really think that much. I mean, for maybe feminism women, they will think about who I am and I want to know someone who really get to know me as a human being, not as a woman, not as a girlfriend, not as a wife or whatever. Well, this is I cannot present represent the whole Asian woman. This is pretty like Ash's idea or Ash's view, something like that.
How the connection work with Asian women. So like they are too shy just to explain their emotion, or they are just like stay in the side. So who make the first step? Like everybody like keep protect themselves, or everybody open to talk.
I'm kind of very open up. It's not all of Asian women are open up. It's just I am open minded a little bit. But a lot of my friends, uh, women, they are pretty open minded because they refuse something, they accept something, they give up something, they pursue something new in the world. Very brave. Well, it depends. It's pretty different, even among women.
Do you think women today feel more free or more pressure?
More brave, yeah. Later, I think after we get to the more topic, you will know more about why women is getting more and more brave.
Why women should be brave? So why they need to be brave? So how do women define power today? Because when you talk about power, somebody see that is a huge materialistic thing. It's someone that have the control just to say, I'm gonna piss that person off. So it's not that type of power that I'm talking about. Because when you talk about power, most of people see manipulation in both sides. So I try to manipulate you, you try to manipulate me. We don't talk about that kind of power. So we talk about power because in the world today, the more power you have, the faster you walk in the womb. So when you understand how something can destroy you, you try to take care of that thing. So you say, okay, I'm not gonna be in that position. Just to that situation destroy me. So now you have power over the situation. So I would like you to tell me how women define power. So how they survive. Like I know women suffering a lot outside. So about a lot of misunderstood stuff. But how they survive about all those situations.
This is a very good question. It's very interesting. Um, in China, in Chinese, um, power, rights is was the same word in ancient Chinese language. 权利. It's from last century, 20th century. It became two. One is 权利, and the other one, pronunciation is the same, 权利. One means power, and one means right. The relationships between power and right was one-sided and unequal. Like power is the cause, and the rights were the effect. Your safety, your property, your freedom of speech are protected, dependent not primarily on legal provision, but on your relationships with someone in power. So naturally, women's right today stems from the government support as well as the economic support. That's why I'm being able here to talk about the topic on women. So when from my primary school to my graduate, like master degree, I don't have to pay. I pay nothing. So the definition of the rights may differ across three generations of women nowadays in China. But the feminism belongs to all women. It's not exclusive. So while there is always much discussion about independent women, now today I want to focus on women form the lower strata of society across three generations who may not appear as an independent woman. Because more of the women in China, they're much older than us. They suffer more than us. So this is this, for example, the challenge that I face, the young generation face, maybe are viewed as a freedom by the previous generation of poor women. Since the founding of the new China with the slogan, women hold up the half of the sky. So poor women are suddenly pushed into a consumer society.
Do you think that you survive more challenge than the women that built China, or you think that them women survive more challenge than you?
I felt the young generation felt more pressure. But actually, the older generation, they suffer more. But they didn't realize the previous generation of women, they have freedom to speak. But their voices went unheard. And they had the freedom to access to social services, but a lack of the money to pay for them. The freedom are very complicated. They had the freedom to run away under the gene, but that was under the gentle persuasion from their family, from the friend to just stay. Or you have the freedom to choose whether to go or take the responsibility to take care of your children or even your grandchild. So they had the freedom to find work in the labor market, or else they had the freedom to go to get hungry. So this is the freedom is, or the right. It is the historical background of the story I wanted to tell. So, for example, my grandmother is 86 years old now. For her, woman's right is likely to mean being able to earn some income through the labor, not to be beaten by her husband, or being able to protect her own daughter. Just try to imagine this, because in last century, baby girl are not that welcome in the family. I believe you heard some story like that, right?
I don't know. I heard some story like, because I love like learning stuff. I'm studying different religion. So I heard some story like that from Bible or from the Quran, from the Muslim people. So I learned some story like that. It's like pretty simple, but I didn't know that happened in China. But how does it happen?
This is very strange. Try to imagine this. This baby girl will not welcome by her family, and when my grandmother went out to work in the fields, her mother-in-law just let the baby girl get bitten by mosquitoes. So she eventually died because of fever. For her whole life, my grandma avoid to mention this. It's clearly it's a lifelong trauma for her as a mother. So this is for my grandma's generation, and for my mom, women's right mean that her like contribution to this family appreciated by her family or by the society because the value of her work, doing some housework and take care of her family, it's no less than any other job in the world. It clearly, but it's pity she has not, she didn't gain any appreciation from my father. So for women's rights, for my generation, the rights is to have a freedom to make a decision because I born in this area. So the freedom to make decision without facing attack or contempt from family or society, whether it's for my like career or my romantic choices. Well, this is the rights for three generations women.
It's very sad just to listen of the trauma. So I didn't really know that part, when it's come from Asian women, how they survive in the last past years. And I think so it's very hard because when you just learn a story about all the bad situation and you decide just to live your life now with head up, like you don't like analyze the past years or your ancestor was suffering. So I know that it's really, really strong. And my question for you right now, does this situation that happened with your grandparent, like your mother, your grandmother, does that still affect you actually, or you just try to survive with them, but sometimes try to forget them, or that give you some depression, some stress, or you survive with the situation?
Oh, that's a very good question. I like it. The trauma definitely is gonna pass to the next generation. Like not just me, also my brother. I have a young brother, and he told me that he doesn't want a marriage.
Oh.
Her trauma have passed to the next generation, not just girls. Like when I was 20 years old, I naturally into intimate relationships with trauma, with anxiety, and of course it was a disaster. And it seems like my mom, it's really hard for her to understand. She can walk away if she doesn't really satisfy with the marriage or relationship. And for me, more of those trauma are detailed, like one after another one. Like when I cook, I will just imitate my mom. I will leave the best food for the man of my family, like for my dad or for my brother, just like my mother did. Even right now, I still doing it. Even when after I realized it, I still doing it. I leave the best food, I leave the best thing for the man of my family. And the relationship in the rural East Asia girl and their mother are really, really complicated. On one hand, those girls like my generation have fight for the freedom and achieve a lot. But on the other hand, like the former victims, like my mom, like my grandma, have become perpetrator. Some women of the previous generation drive the daughter. Of course, it was by concern for the children, push the daughter into a marriage without realizing it. So the situation in my generation are also very different. Some girls younger than me, or some girls when I graduate from my primary school, when I was 13 years old, some of my classmates, those girls, they get to marry someone like 13 or 14 years old. They already get married, bearing children. So yeah, this is a very interesting topic. Anyway, between mom and daughters.
Them girls just do or take all those decisions just because the family forced them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a force, but it's not that serious because it's not just women. Also guys, their family are gonna push them to get married without noticing. Oh, what is marriage? Without noticing it, walking into marriage or walking into a intimate relationship. The woman gonna pay much higher price if they choose the wrong relationship.
The situation of choosing someone or be forcing to marry early without your disposition, without you saying, okay, I want to do that, I will do that. I also remember that it happened also in my culture where the lady have to bring a good guy home. So sometimes the full responsibility is taken by your family because your family can like watch all around. They say, okay, I really love that guy for you, even though you don't like that guy. So as woman, you're supposed to go to that. It's not because you do what you want sometimes, which means that you take always the good decisions. Because outside we have a lot of people that suffering emotionally. They can't deal with the fact that they supposed to observe every situation just to know what they should do. Because if you just go in every small details, everybody that take a decision, you will end up see like that person was not really concerned what is the true reason that why he do what. So I think so. The first thing is what is most important for today world is people supposed to be more observed, like observe them situations, and you always have the position just to see yourself in a better condition. So for us men, we are a product of consistencies, which is different for women because between us men is a war every single day. So most of times we don't talk because the world say that men don't talk. So when men have stress, men have trauma, men supposed to fight. So we can talk. It won't be that funny if we sit say that, I have headache. So I have that situation. Oh, I have that situation. Everything we do have a reason for why we are doing it. So we can't do something and say, I don't know. So you're supposed to like go deeper, just say what I'm do that. So what I'm supposed to do that, what I already do that. So what I can change in that situation. So I don't really think it's that hard just to find someone that can think equally like you're thinking. So sometimes we are hard to dealing between each other. Sometimes we understand the situation and we just try to deny the situation just to live with ego. I think so in most of situation that human beings survive today, the main thing that they keep just to survive, just to do what they want is ego. So the ego of validation, the ego that I want to feel that I'm on the situation. I want to feel that I'm control that person. Feminism is for me personally because I have my own point of view. It's something that create just to destroy a lot of family Because if today you say that women supposed to go work and men go work, so who gonna take care of them kid? So now the system have full access of the kid. So when I see a children today, actually, so the life is more about scrolling on social media and do some kind of thing because the parent doesn't have full access on children today. So when you have women work, you have men work. So the money they bring home is just enough to pay the bill. And you still don't see like what we still like working, working, working. I really understand that women not supposed to be suffering. They supposed to be listening by their men or by the family. So women supposed to be like in a stage like they don't feel that I give too much or they take too much from me. So when you feel that they take too much from you or you give too much, we don't call that relationship. We call that a war or we call that possession. Is someone that own you and that person want to you to make everything that he wants. I think so. Freedom is be able just to explain what you feel, be able to make a choice, be able like to walk, go where you want to go without like asking access every time. So for me, freedom is not like I gonna do that and I gonna fight that person if he doesn't want to give me full access just to that. And I understand that when it's come from women, it's way deeper. Men was always fighting. So we're always fighting to bring peace, which is not really existing because the world is not in peace right now. Because whether it's economically, so you still see the fight. So now we have a bunch of machine, we have ChatGPT, we have a lot of things fighting against us. So it will always be a war, and we're still in that war. But we still have the possibility just to analyze the situation and see what is the best position that we can take for us. How feminism works. So what you understand about feminism, what it is important.
Thank you for the question. Well, I think feminism for me, at least for me, is trying to understand women because feminism it's it's about all the women. It allows me to trying to understand like my mom's generation, my grandma's generation, and trying to support them just like I did before. And I be my mom's mom after I read some books from feminism books. I'm my mom's mom because I know that she had a lot of trauma. She'd been through a lot. She had that bad temperature, and she doesn't really know how to take care of herself. And there's some specific moment I know that she need my support. And if there's anything that she didn't make it perfectly, that I understand because I remember that when I was a child, I wrote a diary. I hate this woman. After that, she read that diary and she lay in bed crying for all week. She was totally very sad. And anyway, but after I grow up to and learn about feminism, I came to understand that she was only a 20 years old girl when she became a mom, a woman who gave up her dreams, had to take a responsibility for the household and everything. She had to on her own to build a new house, to earn money outside, to support the family, and she had to give like emotional labor for people around them. She couldn't control her emotion, and she couldn't keep distance with her original family, where she suffered a lot. And there was one day, but this, I mean, feminism makes me feel closer with my mom, but on the other hand, um, it makes me and my mom sometimes hard to understand each other. Just like I told my mom, you should keep a distance with your parents, and my mom's like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? What kind of daughter can do this? I said, I am doing this. I'm trying to keep distance with you, mom. Because if you push me, if you keep on pushing me to get married, of course, I will never go home again. And she said, oh. And then I realized maybe for her whole life, he couldn't understand why I said you should keep distance with your parents. And like for intimate relationship, and she also like was like ask me when I was 21 years old, why are you breaking up with your ex? And I said, we're not that good. She said, why? Why not that good? Oh, we're not. I said, we're not that good in a sexual way. And then just in 1 minute, I saw her face colored like a rainbow, from yellow to black to green to blue. Anyway, colorful, but good way. And anyway, I would like to say feminism for a woman is very good way to feel to make us feel more connected, at least with 3 generations, at least for my generation, trying to understand my grandma and my mom, because we're family, we're women, we came from each other, we're one. And if there's a next life, I want to be my mom's mom.
I want just to enter on in her world, enter in her emotion, enter in all this battle that she survived, just to understand how the situation was really. Do women still want partnership, or has modern life made women more comfortable depending only on themselves? Do women need a guy?
Yeah.
Women need to be in a relationship, or they only have to depend on themselves?
We still want love. We still want love. It doesn't matter. In certain content, both of men and women have the freedom, at very least, the freedom to choose to walk away. If we cannot choose to walk away freely, life won't be happy, even if we try hard to maintain the marriage or relationship. Keep the relationships going on won't make life any happier if we never feel right again. Even some women, they try really hard to maintain a relationship, but and trying not to lose herself in a relationship. It's very pity that love always flow towards those people who are not lacking love. As long as there's a people in the world who need her joy and strength, she will not feel lonely. Those couples who can walk away freely still have a chance to get back again. And those people who independent personality won't go through in a messy, humiliated breakup. A lover who comes to your bed on the free will, it's more likely to hold you close whole night than a husband who has nowhere else to sleep but only your bed. So we want love, and I also want love. I also want like intimate relationship, but only when we are ready. When I am ready for my get myself prepared, I have enough love, I have enough strength to share with anybody else.
I really appreciate you to participate on my podcast. It was a very, very good pleasure, like to meet you and also help you here. And I think so the small story, because the story is too long and we still need another episode. So the story you shared today, that can help in a lot of women out there that's still suffering, because there are a lot of women suffering, as I was saying before. So I hope that your story can help them, give them clarity, just to understand how women supposed to act, just to understand what is the role model that they really want, whether in the relationship, just to understand how they can control their emotion. So I really appreciate you for your time, for everything, and thank you for sharing your story, your personal story, your family story in this podcast.
Thank you for your invitation. I'm very honored to be here to share my story. Thank you.
And we hope you come for next time, okay?
Yes, of
Thank you.
course. It's very pleasant talk.
Bye bye. Thank you.
再见。